My name is Kaushal Shah, and today I'm going to talk about some of the product-related FAQs that we usually receive from the customers. And these are either existing customers or the prospective customers or just newly joined customers to eVital. And what we are going to focus about is the why portion, why we are doing certain things certain ways. And, this is a collection of FAQs. So this is going to be in some few parts, but we are going to address one by one, and let's see if we can do this successfully. So one of the most common question we receive from the customers is that, why don't we create an offline version of eVitalRx as well? And one of the main thing, the reason we if it's not completely offline, at least when the internet goes out, why doesn't eVitalRx basically also provide a hybrid approach where a chemist can keep billing from the offline version as well, and when the internet becomes available, it goes back to online cloud, that is. And then sometimes they also argue saying that some other software provides that, and so forth, some sort of hybrid version. Now, hopefully I'm going to address that question. So first of all, asking eVitalRx to create an offline version is like saying, why don't you use Postcard while you can all use WhatsApp? So in my opinion, we want to create a better product, better technology, using better technology. So WhatsApp is clearly much better than Postcard for those who even know what postcards are at this point. The other more important, aspect is that in India, as everybody knows, that India is one of the cheapest internet in the whole world. Literally, I think we rank about second cheapest internet in the world. And more importantly, every day, internet is in India is becoming more and more reliable and more cheaper, right? So 15 years ago, when I used to live in India, internet was not that reliable. It goes back and forth. Now internet has become sort of a commodity or even a utility like electricity or water. And in a lot of cases, internet is actually more easily available than electricity and water. So, we always think that if it's only going to get cheaper and more reliable, why bother building something outdated, which is an offline? And then, of course, the question sort of changes itself, saying that why don't you offer a hybrid approach? When the internet is available, of course, most of the time it will be cloud, then why don't do something offline? One, even if you lose 1% of the time internet, like, so let's say if it's 100 days and one day you lose an internet, or even 2%, for that, it's a lot of work to create an offline backup for that. Two, which of course users can say that, look, it's not a valid argument, but my more technical suggestion or solution is that the problem, justification is that once you create an hybrid approach, what happens is, even if the internet becomes slow or something and it starts creating an offline versions, what happens is the syncing between the two becomes very, very important, right? So every time you make a bill, it's an invoice because it's online. I have to also store a local copy. So the software also has to store a local copy on your software. And then if the internet goes down, it has to pick up from the local copy and start creating a bill from that. And then as the internet becomes available, it has to go back online. And this hybrid approach works until it does not, right? So, a lot of syncing copies becomes a problem. Every time there's a mismatch in data. What if you lose an internet in the middle of the bill, right? You're still billing or you're entering a purchase or something larger. What if you lose an internet in between? So all those questions are very messy. And that is probably why, in my opinion, there are a lot of other softwares that have tried that has sort of failed miserably in keeping the data clean. And that is probably why we don't want to do it. If you have used eVitalRx enough, if you do lose the internet in between, what it tells you right away, that is, either it's a slow internet or no internet, so immediately to stop or something. The reason is also mobile, right? So even if you lose an internet at home, at a shop, the mobile internet is almost never absent, right? You test all the features at like as low as like 7 megabytes per second speed, which is half of what you get usually on your phone. And hence, that should not be a problem at all, even using hotspot or on a mobile or something. So, those things should help. And one of the reason I wanted to address this as well, that when we brought cloud to pharmacies first time, 4 years ago, a lot of customers were scared, saying that what if your portal goes down, or something like that. So in that case, what do we do? And we thought about it. One of the main reason people worry about this thing is because most of this businesses, small business in India, had their experience with web portals limited to government portals like income tax or TDS or GST or something, or public banks like SPI or Bank of India or something like that. And admittedly, they don't do a good job of managing their servers properly, and hence what happens is a lot of people start building ideas that any web portal can go down anytime, whereas they completely miss the point that products like Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, Instagram, they almost never go down, right? If they go down, it's for an hour or 20 minutes or 5 minutes, even not even an hour, actually less than 5 minutes, for like every 2-3 years, if that. So we also guarantee that same thing, 99.9% of the uptime. And because of all these reasons, we decided that we don't need to really make an offline version or hybrid version. We stick to the online version only. So one other question that we receive all the time is that why it's about adding new products, to our catalog. So while everybody loves our catalog and how useful it is into their day-to-day production, I mean the day-to-day workflow. One of the questions that we receive all the time is that why can't I do this from web? Why can't I add new products from the web? Why do I have to use the mobile app? And first, before we even justify our strategy here, I think it's worth repeating that we have the largest and the most extensive product catalog in pharma space in the country of India. And it could also include, it does include 1 lakh FMCG products along with their barcodes and stuff like that. So it's definitely the most extensive one that I have seen, at least, with barcodes and pictures and product details and so on and so forth. I mean, it has the product details of manufacturer, salt, API composition, drug formulation, everything you can name it about the medicine, and we have it. So the way we have built this whole structure is using, where our pharmacy members have helped us across the community to build this catalog, right? Like, we don't carry any inventory, so of course we don't have any product knowledge. And that is why we need pictures, right? Because we need pictures, because a lot of time the products has, if you don't have the pictures, then people, when they enter new products, they make mistakes in typos and, manufactured by drug formulation mistakes. Content, of course, right? Content is the big one, the dosage and the strength and all those things we need a pictures for. The schedule, we need a pictures for. So basically, we need pictures. Whereas you, as a user of the app, you can add bare minimum details like name, MRP, GST, and you can continue your billing. But to add other details, we need pictures, right? And of course, that those pictures are very helpful if you actually want to build a patient application as well. Either you use eVital or you would use white label application, doesn't matter. Without pictures, there is no product, right? And there is not a single app that you would buy from if the app does not have product pictures. So that's one. And then second, of course, the pictures also help you yourself, your own team, your own staff, to get medicines from the rack when they cannot recognize if they're new to the business and job or something. So we need pictures. So that's why, adding pictures from the web is very difficult. So of course, the most obvious one is the mobile, and that's why we only do mobile. And if, for those who have used the product, we don't even let you, create from the gallery. Sorry, upload from the gallery. It has to be done from the live picture of the product. Why? Because in the past, when what people used to do is people used to add the products, and then in the gallery they would upload any pictures. Unfortunately, we need to restrict that. So it's not because we cannot support web. Of course, we can support web. The problem is that once we have allowed those things, the quality of the information that we receive from pictures, or the lack of thereof, is very poor, and hence it's not helping anybody, us or the pharmacist or the community in general, to do that. And that's why we decided to do only from the mobile. let's see what's next. So the next picture, next is getting support, right? One of the questions, one of the reasons actually, most of the pharmacies switch to our software from the other software is getting a better support, in at least hoping to get a better support. And of course, we try our best to give support to our customers, including training, helping them on board successfully, and so on and so forth. But one of the thing any customers probably is told during the training portion is that if they want to get a support effectively, we urge them to create a ticket. And the reason is few different things. So it's really important for us to share what is going on in the back. One of the reason, is we have been, people have asked for, like, why don't you give on-site support? Why don't you come see here? So there are a couple of issues. One, of course, on-site support is very expensive, right? Humans are expensive, commuting is expensive, petrol is expensive. So if we start going to a pharmacy on site, the problem is that the cost does not justify itself, right? So we sell software for 3,500 rupees a year. Just imagine, even if the guy shows up at your shop for 3 times a year, even that would cost way more than 3,500, considering his time and petrol and everything. So it just not make sense to us economically. And people can say, well, that's your problem. Well, the problem is not our, eventually we want to provide a good quality software for all the pharmacies in this country at a reasonable cost that we can provide at. And we truly believe that if we do things appropriately, if we get to the scale, we can actually provide a software for 3,500 or 7,000 rupees a year throughout the country at a smallest pharmacy possible. And I think that's the way to enhance the healthcare scenario of India. So it just doesn't make sense in terms of efficiency and cost to go to on-site. But then also there is one more issue that when we have a staff in-house that is online support, we could actually control the quality of the support that we are providing better, right? So for example, if somebody shows up at your doorstep or your pharmacy from our team to give you on-site support, we have no idea what they're saying to you. We don't know, we cannot control the quality of the delivery of that support easily. Whereas if we have a team in-house, if they are talking to you on the phone, we can have the phone recordings, any desk recordings, so on and so forth, to go back and evaluate them, check their quality of the support, what kind of answers are they giving the right answers, wrong answers, so on and so forth. So it's very important to do the online support. Now, you can say, well, okay, I still would like to just simply call and not create a ticket from the widget online, which is fine. That is true. But ticketing widget is actually, we use something called Freshdesk, which is an Indian company, Chennai based, in case you know. It helps us track a lot of things. So for example, it helps us track how fast our first response was in order for you to create a ticket. If the ticket was something of an advanced issue, it would be escalated to somebody senior, right? How much over the time turnaround there was. So if we don't have ticketing system, we have to rely on our agents saying that, yes, sir, it's closed, the query has been closed, and so on and so forth, which is of course not reliable. So we, the whole ticketing system is for tracking and quality purpose, so that we continue providing you a good support. So even if you are not well versed in English, or you can write an English that is not perfectly fine, it's completely fine. We can understand that. We would of course call you back if you need further clarifications. There is also when the ticket is closed, you actually receive a notification in your email. You can even rate our services based on that. So even if you don't like certain agents, support, you can even rate them, so that it will help us to get idea of what kind of services are we providing. And that is, all of these reasons combined, we actually prefer the you create a ticket system. The one thing which is not exactly directly related to this question, but it's related nonetheless in terms of getting a support, is we have extensive YouTube library. So go on to YouTube, type eVitalRx, you will see our channel. There's thousands and thousands of people who are subscribed to it. There's hundreds of videos, 1,000 hours plus content, including myself with giving a demo, content like this, content like Healthy Dose, which is a series of discussions between me and my co-founder Ajay Modi, We talk about, a lot of different issues, which is available in Hindi. We are also planning to do that in English now. And now, as we hired more team members who speaks other languages like Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, we are also planning to do the similar content into those languages as well. There's one last thing I want to also talk about is called Learn More. We call Learn More, which is if you see on any page of eVitalRx, there's a little light bulb on the left side, probably. There's a little light bulb. If you click on it, there will be a drawer that is open from the right side. And that drawer basically has a text explanation of everything on that screen. There's also a tab of video. We are also working on this. We have a dedicated resource who's working on this, updating this content day by day, every day, where you can just search for things you're looking for, or you can watch the videos that are relevant to that particular thing. So, for example, if you're on a sales screen, it will only talk about things that are in sales. How do you do this? How do you do that? Or how do we calculate LP? Or how do we calculate GST? Everything that you can imagine. And then there are whole videos. So, we like to believe that we want to create a content system, content management, such that even if we are not around, it's a holiday or a day off or middle of the night, if you need help, you should be able to get help. And hopefully that will give you some ideas about our support system. One other questions that I get all the time is that why QR codes, right? So a lot of our customers use QR code mechanism where they stick QR codes onto the medicines. Some of these people were already used to a barcode in the previous software they used to use. So the first question always comes like, why are you doing QR code? Because I have this, I have to buy a printer or whatnot. Why not just do a barcodes like other software? And I granted, it's not obvious. So let's talk about that. One of the things is that if you look closely, a barcode will show you only numbers, right? And it's limited by those numbers. So because of that, you could only do so many numbers on a strip. Otherwise, the barcode would really become a big, like 10 digits or something. So that's one reason. But because of that, a lot of barcodes that I have seen, not all, but a lot of barcodes that I have seen are not batch specific. And what do I mean by that? So if you have a product with two different batches, the barcodes will be same. So when you scan it, the software simply selects the product, not the batch, right? Which still pose you a risk of selecting wrong batches, and it still slows you down, right? Because now you have to select the product, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but you still have to select a batch. Again, not all, but most of the barcodes that I have seen. Whereas QR code, of course, is a product specific, batch specific. So if you scan it, it will not only select the product, but it will also select the batch. The reason it's possible is because QR code is much more complicated. There are a lot more permutation combinations one can accommodate into QR code than a barcode, right? So that QR code could be a very, very, very specific. In fact, we are working on even advancing that one more step, which I will not reveal right now. But the day it becomes a reality, I will of course share with you. The second reason QR code we like it is because of speed, right? So anybody who's ever scanned anything from mobile, a barcode and a QR code knows this very well. The QR code is absolutely a very fast, scanning. In fact, QR, as in QR code, stands for quick response, right? So that is why, all of you guys are in India. So the UPI, right? Why UPI codes are not in, barcodes? Why do QR code? The reason is that the scannability is extremely, extremely, extremely fast. And there's not even a comparison between the QR code and a barcode for that. So definitely speed. If you are running a busy counter, you can simply scan that very easily, very fast. And of course, it's very easily readable by mobile as well, as you guys have experienced UPI, same thing. So it helps you a lot of billing and other things that you want to do through mobile. As a barcode, yes, you can scan through mobile, but the technology it uses to decode a barcode through a mobile is a little more complicated and a little slower because of the same reason. Not a little slower, actually, it's meaningfully slower. It won't affect if you are only scanning once. If you're scanning 20 times or 2,000 times, most likely, it's going to show you a difference. Lastly, there is one more important aspect. See, QR code provides a lot of dynamic nature to it, and I'll explain you what I mean by that. So if there is a one QR code, depending upon the application that is being scanned from, it could act very dynamically, right? So you could actually scan through a chemist app, it would give you a different pagination results. If you actually scan the same QR code from the patient app, it can lead you to a different page. If you scan through a sales bill versus purchase return, anything you want to do, you can do a lot of dynamic way of routing the results if there was a QR code. And because of all these reasons, we basically lean towards QR codes very heavily as opposed to barcodes. So hopefully this was, satisfying enough as an answer for why QR code, not barcode. And lastly, for this session, I want to talk about FMCG and OTCs. Why should we use barcodes scanning that was provided by company? That is, any product that you see on a consumer product that you see that has a barcode or a QR code at the back of the package or something. So for example, if I have Vicks VapoRub here and the company has provided a barcode here at the back of the package, why should I use that for sales and purchase, right? So one, it's provided by the company. You don't have to do anything, so you can scan it. But it's a very product specific. So one thing most of the people don't know about the barcode provided by the company. It's a very, 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 very product specific, right? It's not batch specific. Most likely, there is very exceptional instances where they're batch specific. Let's not talk about that. I think it's very product specific. And what do I mean by product specific? So if this is a Vicks, which it is, and this is 25 ml, if the Vicks VapoRub also came up with 50 ml package, which of course they probably do, it would be a different barcode. So it's not just product, I should actually say product and packaging specific. If tomorrow there is a special offer going on, 10% free, and Vicks came up with a 10% extra size here, it would also carry a different barcode. But it is very good because it's very specific. In very exceptional instances, I've seen different states doing the same for different barcode for the same product, but I don't think that's relevant because most of the time you would have pharmacy in one state, which is not going to make much of a difference. So it's a product specific. So when you scan it, it knows exactly how to bring Vicks VapoRub 25 ml. So it helps you, create sales and purchase entry very accurately. And I feel that, and before eVitalRx, people used to not do this because in their old softwares, they actually had to maintain this barcode database themselves. So most of the people did not care about it. But one of the things eVitalRx does very well is that there's 1 lakh products like this. And now, as you might know, a lot of medicines also started putting barcodes onto their packaging. So we have about 1 lakh barcodes right now available day one, and we are adding about 50 to 60 new products every day to that database. We are getting all that for free, without doing anything. And I highly recommend you take an advantage of it. So because it helps you manage a stock carefully, very accurately. A lot of people simply like to say 18% FMCG item, and they club everything together, which is fine. Of course, but when you type that print on a bill, it looks stupid to your customers. When you do an application, customers cannot find a specific product because they're looking for something in your stock. And it's overall improves the experience of the customers at the store as well as online. Even at the store, let's say you're not using it and customer comes and they are looking for specific flavor of the FMCG, packaging of the FMCG, and you have spent a lot of time looking for things because you have not properly allocated your purchase bill to that. One last thing I want to add to that is that there is one feature that is actually one of my favorite ones, but it's very underrated in my opinion. There's a specific mobile feature on FMCG purchase. What you have to do is when you receive a purchase from the distributor, all you do is literally just open the scanner, scan everything, and it will create a draft in the background, right? And you don't even have to count the quantity or anything. You can simply just keep scanning, and it will take all the products names and add that I have FMCG, I have a Vicks VapoRub, 3 of them. It will start clubbing. So even if the sequence is not managed, it will do all that for you. And then once you're done scanning, you can shelf all the products, and then you can just save as a draft. And then all you have to do is you go on a web version of the draft. You can simply change the pricing of discounts or whatever you need to do and you can save it. So you don't have to search any product basically, or you have to count any products or do anything like that. You can do all that while the guy just laid out all the products on your desk. So this is very, very, very good feature in my opinion. If you are doing FMCG purchases, which of course all of you guys are, I think you should definitely take an advantage of it. So I hope this was helpful. Of course, we'll be doing more questions like this in coming days, and hopefully letting me know if you guys have any feedback. Thank you.